This video is the quick start guide for the Excel Skills Cash Flow Statement template. The cash flow statement template enables users to automatically create and balance a cash flow statement based on basic income statement and balance sheet information. Let's start with the input. At the top of the sheet, you need to enter the current reporting year, which is then used on this sheet and the automatically created cash flow statements. We've included yellow highlighting next to input cells where positive values need to be entered, and green highlighting next to cells where negative values need to be entered. If a cell does not contain any highlighting, it means that the cell contains a formula and no user input is required. So as you can see, there's some basic income statement information at the top of the sheet that needs to be entered by the user. Then there's a balance sheet with assets and then equity and liabilities. Below that, there's some additional information that's required in order to produce a cash flow statement. The same principle applies to this additional information in terms of whether positive or negative values need to be entered. Below the balance sheet is a control total section. There are 4 control totals. The first is a balance sheet control, which simply checks whether the balance sheet is in balance after the user has entered all their input values. The next one is a depreciation control, and that basically checks whether the movement in the accumulated depreciation agrees with the depreciation total on the income statement. And the next one is an amortization control, which has a similar principle where the accumulated amortization is checked against the amortization in the income statement. It's important to be consistent because the income statement depreciation and amortization is used on the cash flow statement. And if that doesn't agree to the movement in amortization, accumulated amortization or accumulated depreciation, your cash flow statement will not balance. The last control total is for retained earnings, to check whether the income statement retained earnings and the movement in the balance sheet retained earnings is consistent. Again, if it's not, your cash flow statement won't balance. So it's important that all of these control totals need to be 0. We can then have a look at the cash flow statement on the direct sheet. There's 2 cash flow statements, one produced on the direct method on this sheet and one produced based on the indirect method. So both are fully automated. You just enter your input on the input sheet and all of these balances are calculated automatically. So this is the direct method, and then you have the indirect method. Also, now user input on the sheet, everything's automated. And that's it. If you need more information about our cash flow statement, you can go to the detailed instruction sheet where we cover the templates in more detail. You can also visit our support section on our YouTube channel where we post videos based on customer feedback.